Buying a new house. We're on now?
Is she not?
She's been excused.
I didn't know that.
Like
Melissa?
Yeah.
I said that when you came in, you said I know.
No, I thought you said, oh, yeah, I thought you talked about the special ed person.
Oh, no,
So you got too many Melissas.
I know. But she's Melissa Jean.
I know, but I call it. Okay, all right, I understand. She's excused.
And I'd rather you have been than me.
Okay, that's fine.
You know what I'm saying?
I
would take it for himself.
Call the meeting order.
We're calling it.
Okay,
That's
That sucks.
good.
would Stephanie, would you be glad to say the pledge for us?
Aww.
I don't want to say that, make me cry.
Last song, the swan song.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right. Do we have any public comments?
Yes, I was at the selectmen's meeting, which was held in the firehouse because recording was not available. Many points, indirectly, the budget committee thanks Nate for being able to provide the report material in the two formats, neither of which I understand. The town will be doing it. Hopefully, it will be at no cost. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Would the board have any problem if I moved up the chief? Are you?
I mean, I wouldn't.
I think you should go last.
After the
Sit here
non-public.
and listen to
Okay,
all
would
of
you
us.
like
Here
to?
and listen to non-public.
After, you can't listen, but.
Right.
I gotta go up there and then.
I guess the board has no problem if you'd like to go. Okay.
So for the last about 3 years, I've been trying with the different principals and the different superintendents to get the traffic pattern at the high school changed. The traffic pattern at the high school is an accident waiting to happen. We have traffic traveling both from School Street up across the parking lot in front of the building, through the bus parking lot, and back out to Elm Street. Then you have traffic on both directions of Elm Street coming in and out, and they're both pulling into that entrance of your school. Both are pulling in, banging U-turns, and sweeping back out. There's been plenty of close calls right in the parking lot. We're lucky enough that we haven't had a crash yet, but waiting for a crash to happen before we fix something, in my opinion, is a pretty bad idea. So my suggestion is that we make that a do not enter. So the parking lot of the front of the high school will be a one-way. You will only be able to come into the front parking lot of the high school by coming from School Street, up across the front of the building, up to there. You can drop your children off, the buses can drop people off. You pull out and you can go either direction on Elm Street. That leaves parking for people in the student parking lot, the dirt parking lot above. There's parking over in the paved area, and you're going to have 7 spots. I talked to Pat Smith this morning. You're going to have 7 spots from the high school driveway all the way to 30 feet before the crosswalk at Elm Street.
My understanding is that those will be just drop off and pick up, no
Correct.
permanent parking all day.
Yep, they're just going to
Okay.
be drop off and pick up, and there'll be 4. There's going to be signs, I believe, out there. That was the agreement the school board had with the selectmen, that there'll be signs out there, no parking during school hours.
And Bob will take care of that. So we ended up with a total of 11 parking spots out there. So that's quite a few, but we could not do it up around MES because of the congestion up there.
Correct.
So we were turning our back on MES, so it just wasn't possible.
Do we need a motion? Oh,
If I may, does that mean that parents will not be able to go into the driveway at the high school?
From Elm Street, correct.
What's the one directly in front on the east side of the main entrance to Old Newt? What is that street?
School Street.
That's School Street.
That School Street runs
One way.
south. School Street is presently one way south.
Correct.
Parents will not be able to make a right-hand turn into the driveway of the high school. Their drop-offs will be on that street.
No, they could drop off in the dirt parking lot as well.
That is to the west.
Correct.
Okay, but they cannot drive in and go past that much clearance and a blind right-hand turn at the building itself. They will come.
They can't turn into the building in front of the
Will
library.
that be? No. The old Newt is here. The street is down here. You can turn in as if you were going to the cafeteria. You can slide past the building itself, make a sharp right-hand turn, go past the present visitor and handicap parking and out.
Mhm.
Is that what parents will be able to do?
Correct.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why not have them leave the interior pathways for the buses use the interior pathways?
The buses use the interior pathways as well as parents.
Why not have parents just go straight down that street and have children walk 100 feet to get into class?
That's up to the school board. If the
Well,
school board
that is-
doesn't want anybody else in there, then
Because
That's the purpose of the drop-off spots, of those 11 spaces that are along the side of the
and that will
highway.
be on. So will there be signage
Yes,
so that the congestion and the preferential treatment of buses directly against the building? So you will not have parents in line with buses, in line with.
well, they're not gonna be able to go by the buses if they got the...
Usually, the way I've seen it is there's signs that say from this time to this time, Like it's MES buses says. only.
Mhm.
Because you don't
okay.
want to block it completely because there's plenty of time when buses aren't there.
Yeah, okay.
And so for parents picking up for sports or for dropping off after school or dropping off super early at 7, before buses are even getting there, then that shouldn't be an issue for them to use it.
And you don't
So-
want to lose those, I think it's 15 spots that you guys have along your guardrail there, and then the 2 visitor and handicap parking spaces. You don't want
Right.
to lose those for the
So I
library.
think just
and
the
for-
hours of drop off and,
It's no different
Pickup.
than the sign at MES.
But the other thing is gonna happen, immediately when you turn in to go to the cafeteria, that's still gonna be two-way. And the reason you're gonna have to do that for is for trailer trucks. They're not gonna be able to go out around the building.
Right.
They're still gonna be able to come in and come out, and that just shut that short
I
distance.
was just thinking of a bus which has to leave at 8 a.m. exact, and Johnny, who is looking for his lunchbox from 8:01 to 8:07 in the back seat of the family van. And the bus driver says, "Thank you very much."
And I understand that your handbook has already gone out to parents, and this would be tough to implement now. What I wanted to talk to the board about is getting this plan moving forward, getting the parents' input into it and letting them know. Because I think if you guys go up there and throw up the do not enter signs and try to throw that in a week before school starts, you guys are going to have a lot of angry parents in at your next month's meeting.
Well, the only thing I was gonna do is give it a time to let everybody get acclimated to it
Yeah.
before we enforce it, and give them a chance to get the feel.
We could start with like an alert now too, right? Can't we just send out, just look, there's a new traffic pattern, because that goes out to all the students, all the parents. There's a new traffic pattern in the school starting X date. It'll start, we'll start.
Just to add to that, because you have another dimension too, since that's the public library for the town, then you really need to have a broad way of letting everybody in the town know that.
Well, we're probably gonna have to have a public hearing to do that also at the school, I would think.
Well, technically, I think you guys are the ones who are the authority for the school and the school's property. So you're not creating a one-way on a public way. You're creating a one-way through the driveway of the property.
Yeah.
So it's not like you are changing Elm Street to one-way.
Yeah.
You're changing just the driveway of the school to that section of the driveway to a one-way.
I just had a question. Bob just brought up something. I totally forgot the library is there. Maybe after 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock when there wouldn't be any buses.
sports.
True, okay. I was just thinking maybe after a certain time, yes, you can come in off Elm Street to
Yeah,
go to the library, yeah.
If you make it a one-way and then one-way until 5 p.m. and then allow people to come in, you're opening yourself to a can of worms.
And them parking in the dirt parking lot to get to the library is not that much. further, and if they need the handicap spots, then they'll just have to go
Well, what time
the
does
3
the
minutes
library open?
around.
Library till 7?
What time does it open in the
Oh, I
morning?
don't know what time it opens.
Should be
School, is it? Or
I think
no?
9 o'clock for public.
9 o'clock for the public. So it would, the library parking spaces would all be still in front of the building, usable the way they are now, because the buses would be gone by 9 o'clock.
They would just have to enter on School Street.
They just have to come in from School Street.
Right.
We've been kind of lax too on allowing anybody to park in the front of the school. I think as part of this, we need to designate all of that front parking lot by the library as clearly visitor, so that people can come in and be able to park on the property that are coming and going throughout the day.
You mean as opposed to staff?
Staff, because
Staff
it's random.
parking
Sometimes it's loosey-goosey, and other times we say no staff. It's kind of been gone back and forth. I think we ought to include that when we figure out the whole parking scheme and make that all visitor parking.
Visitor slash library
Yeah.
or something.
Was that the intent
The
originally?
only caveat might be is if we needed an additional handicap parking. So if we had a staff member that needed to park and they worked in the
Right.
front of the building, we might need yet another handicap. So we need to, like the chief's saying, we really need to flush this all out, I think, and address the big picture of who parks where too, when we do that.
So that we want to send it to the facilities committee and have them work on it and then
That's-
vote on it?
That's perfectly fine. I just wanted to make
Paul?
sure that.
Mhm. We can do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
makes good sense.
Yeah, one of the things that I thought of, the dirt parking lot, because I mean, I parked back there for things,
Mhm.
and then just trying to come down, if you don't want to go all the way out to Elm Street and get hit by a car,
Be a better pathway.
or, yes, a much better pathway. Bob?
So it's steep there.
Well, the only, what we don't have on Elm is a town walkway that's always falling off the plate. We've looked at it before, we looked at upgrading all of the sidewalks that existed, but we never looked at extending the sidewalks.
But there is, I mean, there's obviously the beaten path coming down from the dirt pathway to the,
Which
Back
is
of the
kind of
library.
a dangerous meandering over the country walk.
yeah, that's why I said maybe,
So I would not include that, respectfully, keep it out of the picture,
you can't fix that?
no. It-
Bob, you can do
There's
anything.
drainage there
No,
too.
we are not maintaining another walkway. If we're having a walkway, it's either part of our parking lot or it's a public walkway, it's out on Elm Street, one or the other, not an internal walkway.
So we wouldn't have a walkway from the dirt parking lot to the school?
Well, you get out of your car and walk into where other cars travel to go to, the walkway.
You already
Yes.
technically have a walkway from the dirt parking lot
Yeah.
to the backside of the school. I think the easy fix to that, instead of creating another walkway over there, an easy fix to that, because you already have a camera there, an easy fix to that is just put one of those call boxes at that door. They can call into the office if they needed to come in through that way.
Okay.
Because the office can see them the whole way, down the walkway, inside, all the way to the front, to the office. They would have to
And
come
it does
directly
have
to the
a,
office.
that does have a buzz in now.
So it already has a call box to it. So if people needed to come in, instead of walking down Elm Street, they could technically go,
Are
you
you
could change
taking
your rule
notes,
and they could go to
Mr.
that door.
Facilities?
I think the idea about the sidewalk on the side of Elm Street is a no-brainer, but apparently that's easier
Yeah.
said than done, I
The
guess.
sidewalk
Correct.
stops probably 30 feet from the intersection of Elm and School Street. It only goes a partial way up and then it stops there. I think part of the sidewalk issue of completing it all the way up is the slope off the back of your parking lot. I don't know how much of the sidewalk would have to cut into that slope once it gets to your driveway.
Have to look at that some more too. Yeah.
Okay, so we will take it under serious consideration, Chief.
It's just, it's a safety issue. I know when we sit up there and run traffic, we watch way too many close calls.
Okay.
Even with the signs that we put in, I think you came to the Board of Selectmen and requested the signs go in for the no parking, no stopping, standing parking. May not have
That
been
wasn't you.
I wish I could take credit for it, but I didn't do it.
Someone from the school, from the SAU came in and asked for those signs. Those signs have helped with the traffic flow, but with the U-turns and the way people drive in and out of that spot, it's just.
It's hard as a
We're
drop
waiting
off.
for it.
People come up Elm Street and they'll stop right in the middle of Elm and let kids
Right
off
in the middle
too.
of
Yeah.
Elm.
Yeah.
Right in front of the driveway.
Yep.
And then
But
people.
can't we implement right now immediately that we ask the parents to drop the kids off on School Street and have them walk up?
You can. I mean, there's no, the parking spots haven't been painted yet. So some parents aren't going to stop without a parking space to pull into.
But I think they're supposed to do it this week, I thought.
Hopefully tomorrow.
They're trying to get it done,
They
yeah.
are marked.
And I appreciate the police department and the highway department and the selectmen for working on this issue.
So should we do a vote if, along that line, like if the lines get painted, then we should
No,
implement
no problem.
that policy to have it one way and drop off on
Yeah.
School
Are
Street?
you
No problem.
motioning that?
I am.
The dots are there. They look
I'll
good.
second it.
Do I have any more discussion? And what was the emotion exactly?
Yeah.
That
If the
effective
lines-
is when the lines are painted, that we implement the policy of dropping off on School Street and then signing it, do not enter on Elm Street
Okay.
to go
So
in.
when you say dropping off on School Street, are you saying they can't?
In those places, they just drop them off at those, we maybe have student drop-off parking signs, student drop-off signs, so they'll know you drop them off here and they just walk up the little hill to go to school,
Yeah.
not go through the
Yeah.
thing if they go.
During the hours of buses or just all together?
And I think we'll have to take it as we go. But I mean, at least we can put it in the do not enter signs on Elm Street, because that's mayhem, and I've seen it too, it's
Yeah, I
horrible.
agree.
So we all set then? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 So okay, I got 4 and 1, and she's been excused. Melissa, she's been excused, I should have said that. Thank you, Chief, again.
Thank
Were we
you.
gonna ask,
I'm sorry?
About the,
were we gonna beat the dead horse?
What-
Go ahead, beat it.
the program.
The what?
Oh,
She,
while you were here, sir, and you are fully staffed, and we have a new principal,
Not staffed.
We would just like to,
No, they
can
are
we
staffed.
borrow?
No,
Can we-
they're not staffed.
Is there
Yeah, they're
something
staffed.
prohibiting?
We are
You
a
just
quarter
said-
of our department down still. We are still down 2 people.
They're not staffed.
Where did I just read that you just hired and you're, anyway, all right.
I
never
hired
mind.
a part-time officer.
Okay.
And I am hiring another full-time officer, but he is not certified, so he'll have to go to the academy.
Okay.
So unfortunately, the police department's probably going to be shorthanded until we may be, when I hire the 7th and 8th officer and get them back on the books, they're both probably going to have to go to the academy. So unfortunately, we're going to, even when we get to the 8th position, we're only going to have 6 officers who can work the street and do things, probably until April of next year,
Wow.
because they can't go to the academy till January.
All right, then let me ask you a question. Would you mind if we asked Rochester and asked Sergeant DeLuca?
I'm not going to say yes to that because Rochester is even more shorthanded than we are. Rochester has hired about 14 officers in the last couple of months, and many of them have to go through the academy.
All right, because he's a student of the middle school SRO,
He's
so
the
I don't know.
SRO, yes. But
He could
unfortunately, as a taxpayer in the city of Rochester, knowing how shorthanded they are and knowing how overworked their officers are currently, I would not be okay with asking their department to send one of their officers up to do that presentation. I understand the presentation is something that you want to see done. I understand that I want to get the presentation up there, but unfortunately right now with being 2 officers down, our priority is covering calls for service. We're sending the officer back. We have another officer hopefully going to the DARE school the end of September to the 2nd week of October, and then we'll be able to maintain DARE in the elementary school. And if I can, during the time that he's doing DARE, if we have a gap, we'll set it up with the principal and try to get that presentation done.
Cool.
But until I have the staffing, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do that presentation.
All right, and keep us posted.
I will.
Thank you, sir.
I do have a request to get on your agenda for next month.
Okay.
I would like to bring in one of my tactical operators. He has a request for the school board for a safety program to put numbering on the outside of the windows of the school.
Yes.
And I'll have him come in and do the presentation and explain everything for you as to why that's a benefit for us should we ever have a major incident at the school.
Yep,
Agreed.
We
It
should add
works.
doors to that too.
That works too.
No,
Do that at the same time.
what, I have no problem with it, just call it into Earl,
Okay.
set it up, and they can put it on the agenda, or,
Yeah, I just don't
No
know when your
problem.
next meeting is next month.
well, we're gonna
It's
have
always-
2 meetings
yeah.
next month.
You're gonna have 2 meetings
Oh,
next
yeah,
month?
Every 2 weeks.
we're really busy.
So what's
extremely.
the
Second
first
and
meeting
fourth.
then?
So 13th and...
13th and the
27th.
27th.
13th and 27th?
Yeah, you can take
I
whatever you
don't
want.
think he's on vacation on the 13th, so
You want
I
to,
will, if you can pencil us in for the 13th, I will have him here as well.
on the 13th of
Yep.
September? Okay.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we'll take care of that,
Great.
so we can do that presentation as well.
Bob will,
Perfect.
Earl can mention, I thought I'll do it with Kathy tomorrow.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Very good, thank
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief.
Okay, moving on to the minutes.
Okay, I make a motion that we approve the public minutes, 8/9/17, with corrections that have already been given to Laura.
A second?
Do we have any other corrections? Paul?
Aye.
Doug?
Okay, aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
Okay, all right, 4-0. Excuse, okay.
I make a motion to approve the non-public minutes of 8/9/17 with corrections.
Second?
Anybody else have anything? Paul?
Aye.
Doug, aye.
Craig, aye.
Stephanie?
Aye.
4-0-1 passes. All right, superintendent's report?
Okay, I sent out the welcome back letter to the staff a while back, and each of the MEF fans right here from the high school, they have sent their correspondences out. All of the board members, as many of you that could make it last year, were invited to attend Monday, the 28th at 8 a.m. We are having the district meet and greet and welcoming everyone back. It's the first of 2 days of orientation and getting prepared for the school year. I'll be meeting with the entire staff of the whole school district. This will be our first year of just being the SAU, our own SAU. So it's kind of an exciting year for us to begin with. I have a sheet here which is a listing and gives you an updated outline of the various staff changes that have occurred. And what this is actually is a notation of all of the staff changes that have occurred after the school budget was transposed. So when we went out to the taxpayer, we had certain positions based upon the snapshot of that time of providing the best education for our students within the financial constraints of the school. With that said, we had some staff changes, and with it grew an opportunity to look at things from the lens of having been here for a year. Even though my time was shared, I was able to ascertain, just as I said I would, the maximum of stretching $1 into 4. I guess I said 3, but we'll raise the bar a little bit to 4. So in this, some of the highlights, well, with it, in being cost effective, in being aware, so the taxpayers are aware of this, we'll put some of this out on the website as well, so folks can see it. I think the gold part of it, the yellow part of it, are those employees that have not indicated what their entire health plan is and that type of thing. Although we can't enumerate what a person's health plan is, you can see the total compensation that every employee has, which includes everything, including their pay, their health, their fringes, and all of the costs. Some of the highlights of this, if you look at it, at MES, the first line there, when the librarian left, we were able to secure someone from in-staff and train them, so that was a net savings of $25,000. We had a 5th grade change. Then we had some real strong efforts done in the middle high school. One of the things was in the area of ELO. If you look down there, about the 6th one down, you can see that the ELO person left. Now that was a big one, because I had reviewed what the class roles were. As you remember, prior to the school budget, we riffed a staff member in MES, and we did the presentation to the community and showed that the class sizes would not be impacted and that education would go on. So that was prior to the budget being framed. All of these are after the budget was framed, and they came as a result primarily of opportunities that arose when people left. For example, our ELO person left. So looking at the social studies and looking at the 7th and 8th grade, I began to speak with staff. And in speaking with the staff in the guidance department, I ascertained that we could cut or reduce in staff 1 person. So with that being said, we opened up the applications for the ELO position. So Mr. Gillette stepped forth that he was one of the candidates for the position. Thus, as you can see on here, Mr. Gillette became the ELO coordinator, and then we did not replace his position. So being creative and looking at class sizes and in having studied it, it became, so then we saved a total of $67,000 just in that one move. Then as you go down, some of the positions that were replaced primarily at the high school, at the middle high school, I have to commend Jan and her committees. As they sent people to me, we did a firm check of them, and we not only were able to get cost-effective people, but we were able to secure people that were going to advise students, that were going to stay after school to help students, help the culture of the school, coach teams. So we were able to secure people that would work with students beyond the school day in a cost-effective way. In each of those in there, a couple of these, we saved about $20,000 or $25,000. So it came about as we replaced the people that left, we're able to secure people that did not have a great deal of experience, yet could offer us. For example, in the woodshop position, we're able to secure a person that also had significant life experiences. So we were able to really secure strong academic people but at the same time, people that could help with the social and the emotional aspects of the students. So that worked out very well. Now, the $212,000 is not fully what it's going to be, because we're going to take away from that when the gold part, when the rest of the people are hired, and when the fringe areas of certain people come in. But we're cautiously optimistic. Then at the same time, in the guidance department, in each of the areas, in the secretarial areas, we were able to fine-tune and increase the compensations of certain individuals based upon the performance that I had observed and the staff had indicated to me, the administration and so forth. So therefore, this will hopefully be able for us to reward people that have been loyal to our school district and hopefully provide the stability for them to stay here. So utilizing these monies, some of the monies that the differential in what I just discussed we saved, some of it we spent. So in other words, we didn't put it all in the bank. We used some of it as we went for the needs that we had, and to secure staff and to maintain staff and try to fine-tune things. Some of this was through the support of the school board that had brought up areas where they felt people had done a tremendous job and they wanted to ensure that we kept them and that they know that we cared about their work and we thought that they had done great work. So if you have any questions, as we go, the administrative team met at 1, and we meet every week, and we update it, and I'll continue to update it for you if it is transparent. And I think that it's important for the people out there on TV and the taxpayers to know that we're not only we're able to make significant cuts, so to speak, but we are continuing to do so within the budget that we have. And I'm carefully scrutinizing, will be with the administration, and I have certain areas, I don't want people to be worried about their jobs, but as other things arise, I have a really good knowledge of the district and the people in the district, the programs in the district, the needs that students have, so therefore we can adjust it accordingly, much like a coach that knows who's on their team and who's on the bench, and if you need a pinch hitter or you need a left-handed reliever or something like that, you know where to go to. If somebody gets hurt, you know who to put in there. So therefore, we're going to be able to make the necessary adjustments in a cost-effective way. So every time something happens where like a player gets hurt, well, guess what? We're doing our work, we're preparing people, we're improving their skills, we're going out and getting the best people we can get. So we're only going to improve even when something sad occurs. Now, with that being said, we have a little cake here for Steph. We will miss you. And it's kind of sad in a way, but we're very proud of the work you did. And we had a great year. And we lost Lou. And now Steph is going on for certain things and life's experiences. But I'll say one thing. This year was great, you know, and I'm very grateful for the chance to have worked with her. She was a lot of fun.
You should be funny.
And you know, I guess it's like the old coach in me. When you have a great team, you're not working in a jail where the guys are there for life. and the girls are there for life. The girls leave, they go on to work or school, and the young men go on to things. And I remember an old school board member, Jim Earl, in my first administrative job, and he was a farmer. And a couple things I remember. One of the things he said, a man's hand, I have to leave the board after 40 years because it's no longer a case where a man's handshake is his word. And then when people left, I was kind of sad. I groomed, we helped groom some coaches, some teachers. He said, Earl, be grateful we had Tom Finch or whoever for 5 years. So in the same vein, we're grateful that we had Steph. And we've had a tremendous team. And as Lou would say, nobody ever turned a blind eye, and the bobbleheads weren't here. And Stephanie would always tell me where it was at, and I really respected her for that. And I would kid her, she reminded me of one of my girls, who's 28 now, and if she couldn't get you to agree one way, she'd try it the next way and try it the next way. And no matter what, I kind of think, oh, here it comes again. Here's the next one. But I will always, I'm just, we had a great year. And Doug, I'm sorry, I guess it'll improve because I won't be able to talk to Stephanie during the meeting. Okay, we're going to have this kind of at the end.
Okay.
But thank you.
Okay, do you have anything more?
No.
Okay, moving on to administration.
So I have two things. One is a request to go to the policy committee.
Yes, pass it out now. This is the one we were talking, go ahead, you can fill it in.
So it's for school board policy IKF, the high school graduation policy, which states that only students who qualify for the new high school diploma or the certificate of attendance can participate in graduation ceremonies. We've been meeting with several students who either didn't graduate last year or are in danger of not graduating this year or next year, and been setting plans in place with them and their parents and guidance as to what they need to do to finish this year, to try to finish on time next year. Several of them are still going to be able to earn the NUC diploma, but there are some who will only be able to complete the Milton School District diploma of 20 credits, and they won't be coming back next year. So this is kind of our chance to get them to finish and give them that diploma. So what I'm requesting is that for this year, I know last year you guys granted a waiver, but for this year also, if we could grant a waiver for those students who are earning the 20 credit Milton School District diploma to also be able to march at graduation.
So you guys want to change the policy?
Well, that's,
I thought we took care of it.
But I don't think it's
still
changed in the policy. It never went through.
Policy still says they can't
Yeah.
march.
Yeah. We did the waiver, but we never changed the policy.
that was one of our goals.
Yeah.
What did you say?
There was talk about changing it, but I don't think
Yeah.
you guys ever actually did it. Didn't get that far.
Okay, so that's
I thought the talk was that we realized we already, well, I don't, well,
yeah, the
it's not gonna
policy
be-
still says the 24, but we did do a waiver last year.
Okay.
And so I'm assuming what you're asking is make a permanent change into the policy.
That'd be great if the policy committee could do that, but at the very least, if I could get a waiver again for this year. For those
Now, you were going to bring up your handbook
Oh,
also?
do we have to make,
Well,
do we have to vote on this?
Well, send it to the policy committee, run it through channels.
But what
So this
we
is
said
what-
is just
Well, we need to-
give her the okay for
Right,
now.
Right.
the waiver, we need to make a
Right
vote on the waiver.
Well, if you want to do
Can I
that now,
ask-
you can do it now.
This is what I thought, why does this need to go to the policy?
Because it's a policy change.
Yep.
That the whole board right now has already approved for a year and a half.
We have to rewrite that policy. Has to be rewritten and approved,
Oh.
and 2 public hearings.
So,
All right, I make a motion that we waive the
IKF
policy
policy.
IKF to include students earning 20 credits for ED 306.27,
2017 and 2018.
2017 and 2018.
Graduation.
graduation.
Do I have a second?
Second,
Do I have any more discussion?
what we recommend we send it to back to policy committee to get it changed.
Yeah.
So we'll make sure that's on there too.
Oh, you have any problem? Yeah.
No, not
Okay.
at all, thank you. Good.
Paul?
Aye.
Doug, aye?
That guy?
Stephanie?
I
So it'll be,
think there needs to be a little bit more support for the policy people, whoever it's gonna be.
they'll have plenty of support.
Well,
So you're all set with that?
I am all set, thank you.
Now, was you gonna bring up your handbook?
And I have a handbook.
That's the one that's green with the white cover?
The white covers will change it when maybe.
And she'll need a,
Thank you for correcting my name.
I do apologize for the time, but what I did was every time the policy was mentioned, I cross-referenced to the policy. Every time a process was mentioned, I cross-referenced to the process. I found that many things in the handbook were out of date, not current, as well as some spelling errors on names. So I've tried to make all of those corrections to it. So the other thing I found since I've been here is that the school is referred to by about 5 different names. So I tried to standardize to just be Newton Middle High School and Library.
that's the correct name.
So every place I could, I updated it that way as well.
So, you want a motion?
Item, or do you guys have any questions on that? I will update where it says page 29, the Milton School District diploma. I'll go ahead and update that, but they will be able to March this year.
Do we need a motion just to approve
Yeah,
this?
yeah.
I make a motion to approve as written.
I'll second it.
Okay. Do we have any more questions, changes?
Does the parking need to go in this?
Well, we'll have to,
Or you'll have to
Once we
update
get
it
that,
after?
yeah.
I can
Okay.
update that as well. When will, you said tomorrow the lines will be painted?
Well,
Hopefully.
hopefully.
I can add a addendum in there to say that there will be a sign posted for not entering on Elm Street and drop off on School Street. And
Yeah, I like that.
okay, yeah.
Yep.
Yes?
Aye.
Yes?
Yes.
yes.
Okay, passes.
So that means sorry to go backwards, but, so we're starting at the beginning of school, the new do not enter.
As long as signs are posted, yes.
Yes.
We're not gonna have signs at Fest.
But that's what
I need to do dig safe first before I can drive posts into the ground. I need to order the posts, the signs, and install them.
But I think it's gonna take a while for the parents to get acclimated to do this. It's not gonna happen
Do
overnight.
we have the signs?
No, we do not.
No?
I mean, if we're gonna implement it, maybe we can just put them on sawhorses next to the parking lot, to the entryway, just for now, till we get signs driven.
Well, all right, so I made a mistake then. I should have clarified when the lines were getting drawn. Because I thought the lines weren't going to be drawn for a while, which would give you guys time. Because that's what you guys had originally said, that you guys would talk facilities and figure that out. But it sounds like you need a little bit more time to figure all that out instead of just saying, I don't know.
The spaces are already drawn.
Hmm.
Well, the only thing he couldn't do, he couldn't just go out and order the signs until he got authority from us to make it one way or make that drop off at the bottom of the hill. That's what was holding Bob up.
Bob, what's how long? What's the time
The city's
to
doing
get
it, right?
dig safe and
It will
signs?
not be by Wednesday. If I put in a request for dig safe, and that process is through, it's just not gonna happen. I still have outside work that I physically need to do, so it's me, myself, and I doing the work.
Doug,
If
come
there's
on,
anything
you're slacking.
that is not inside the school,
Your wife,
No, he's got to help us.
Your wife is doing a great job.
Wait. you
My
look at that one.
suggestion, and you guys can take,
Yeah.
but my suggestion is,
thank goodness my better
To
half showed up.
my suggestion is to set like Columbus Day, like that long weekend, like coming back from Columbus Day, that's when everything will be enforced. And up until Columbus Day, that gives you that time to get the communication going. Everyone's been told, everyone's clear on the plan. Facilities can meet once or twice, I don't know how many times. But Oh, that's just mine.
And it's all in the details, so things like making sure that whatever we're doing with the signage that's on the street for drop-offs and everything complements the winter plowing as well too, so that people aren't confused. You know, I don't know if we need an additional sign piece to remind people that they need to follow those rules. Okay, so I think, like you're saying, it's not something we can do right now. We need to put all of those pieces together. I still want to go back to Pat Smith as well, to make sure we're posting at the proper height, the right size sign. Mr. Shute and I talked about that. What size sign we buy, like the do not enter.
Would
You
it
know,
make sense for Pat to come to a
I was
facilities
just gonna,
meeting?
yeah, I was gonna say, we
I
should
think
have
I
him
can
come
get
to
all
facility.
those kind of things for you. But
I just meant
And if Wednesday-
having such geniuses in one room would just be so much
Yeah.
brain power and stimulation.
Ones that bring hammers with them too, won't get it done.
Yeah, there you go.
Bob, I think you're still up. You're, no,
Update on projects, yeah.
okay.
Yep.
Is that all you got, Jen?
So
Well,
did that need to change the thing? Because what we just passed was that the new
I can
traffic
there,
was gonna
starting
be.
in October, this will happen.
Well, we
Yeah.
can, something along the lines of we can start using the designated drop-off spots.
Yep.
I mean, I guess if they're not signed yet, people aren't really gonna know, but
But I think if they see white lines in the road,
they're gonna think all-day parking.
Right.
well, you know
That's
what?
what I'm saying.
We'll send Chief Cruz after him. There you go.
okay. Good.
Thank you, Jen.
All right. The elementary school project, we had phase 2 of the roof installed this summer. All of the shingles are on, the ridge cap venting is on. What remains to be done is just a metal ridge to be installed. And the warranty certificate, which is in addition to the shingle warranty. That warranty certificate gives us a 10-year no-leak warranty. Okay? So we're holding back 10%, which is part of the contract, until both of those things are in place. But we're weather tight, and phase 2 is complete. So looking ahead, this was a 3-phase project. All right, so we have already done the southern part of the roof at the elementary and the front entrance area. That was phase 1. We did the kindergarten this summer. That was phase 2. We'll have phase 3 next year, which is the northern part of the elementary shingle roof, which faces the little courtyard. It's definitely going on right so fast. All right, our other summer project was updating the new sump. We needed to replace that because it was leaking. This is part of the oil delivery system. It's the low point. So we have a test probe in there. So if any of the double wall piping leaks any fluid in there, then the alarm goes off. What the problem is because the top part of the container where we had the seal had all deteriorated, then we needed to replace the whole sump. So that work had started this past Monday, and today we were inspected by the state and had everything wired, all the sump in, all of the pipes put back together again.
Oh, good.
We had also in this project updated the oil fill container to be double wall. It was single wall before because it'd be a new rule going in fast forward that would have had to been something we would have had to coordinate later. So now with all the trades here, we wisely did that in this project. The state inspector passed all the work that was done today. So we're able to backfill the gravel and pour concrete. Okay, so what the final steps remain on that is pictures were taken. Those were sent to the state in lieu of the state coming back and re-inspecting the job being complete. they felt they could just see the pictures of concrete, which made sense, such a small setup. And then once they would have gotten those this afternoon, I get a set of the same pictures, so it will take a couple of days for them to respond, and I'll get a letter back that I can actually turn the system on and generate heat if I need to. Obviously, we don't need to worry about that right now. But we are in a shutdown mode still until I get that authorization to be able to start the system back up again. We had gotten a notice from the state of the non-compliance, which had to do with the fact that we had not replaced the sump. So, because we did they reissued that, was it October 14th, I think all of us got the documentation. So since we now have closed on that issue, as of work done this week, then that will take care of that non-compliance. The other non-compliance in the letter was, it was one place that the collective, and I'll take the hit on this, never remembered to update our mailing address with the state. So that deficiency was also on there. So our resolution to both of those were on one form that was filled out today, signed by me, signed by the contractor representative from GAFTEC that did the work, and physically given to the state inspector today. So when they left today, they had, closure of those two. So I just need to get that to percolate through their system and get that cleaned up. All of that gets resolved online too, and I have access to a database, so I know when all of those, any letter to us and any correspondence that we make to them all gets posted online, so I can see all that, so I can track closure on that. We have had a tree that's been degrading on the front of the new parking lot, and it's in the corner of our front entrance where the library is and such, but it's on the end where the guardrail is, okay? And so there's one bad tree there that I need to take down, so I'm gonna get a hold of the Urban Tree Service. They're supposed to come in right after the holiday and get me a quote, so I'll be able to take that then to the facilities committee meeting. And I'm going to tie that together with the third tree that we had identified that we needed to remove on campus, which is the cherry tree when you enter the driveway of the Damon House now, the new SAU, because that tree is actually growing up into not only a telephone but the power wires, okay? So I'll have them take down both of those, give us a quote for taking down both of those trees. We had talked, I had on here to talk about the town parking, but we had a really long conversation on that, so I took notes of what we had said, and as stated, then we'll take that to the facilities team and get all of the inputs that we need and come back with a recommendation to the school board. Okay. Anything else in there, Doug?
Yes, your wife Jean needs a, I don't know how to say this, that woman has been working harder than I did, doing the groundworks at all the buildings, and she's surpassed. It's unbelievable what she's done to the grounds. People that walk around, and well, Bob's been doing also, but his wife's been doing a lot of weeding and tree cutting, and she's done a stupendous job. And I think all of you ought to walk around and take a good hard look at everything that she's done. I want to say a personal thank you to her, and it was all volunteer. She did it on her own. So we got people in our town and our community that are coming forward to help us keep our costs down.
No, I walked around yesterday.
Was it at Damon House? I saw the rocks and new hostas and stuff. Yeah, they look good out there.
But what do you call that?
Yeah, a lot of the hostas were buried.
Yeah, by weeds and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
it looks way better though. I noticed when I picked up my
What do you
packet.
call that in the back of the building or in the middle?
Courtyard.
Courtyard. That thing, absolutely gorgeous. I mean, I walked around with Bob and it's whoa. So I want his wife to come do some more.
Do your house?
Yeah. She did a beautiful
She had a struggle
job.
finding a lot of flowers left over at this time of the year, so she was like all over our extended neighborhood, trying to find some nice flowers to get in there as well.
Yeah, no, in the front entrance.
I got some tiger lilies I'd like to get rid of.
Cool.
So does everybody else, I think, in town. But no,
Tell
thank
her.
her. She did a wonderful job.
Did you have anything else, Bob?
I think that's it, Paul.
Yeah, we'll just get together in facilities and attack.
So we'll get back on our regular old schedule. First and second meeting with policy this second.
Sure.
Good, good.
I already talked with Bob quickly earlier before the meeting even started, and Jan, you were talking to somebody else. But I found out today that Citizens Bank has some sort of grant money to give away. So I spoke with somebody today about the greenhouse, because I know we had talked about growing vegetables and actually utilizing the greenhouse for vegetables for the school.
We did it for a year and then it kind of went away because
Yeah.
it needs something, right?
Yeah. So anyway, I asked Bob to give me an estimate of the heat is in there, but getting water in there and building. I mean, I will come over someday and just take a look so that I can actually
Yeah,
answer
let's
this
go walk
person's
through it.
questions. But beds, soil, plants.
But I think, but it also, did Melissa say that there was trailers that were available also for growing?
I think
I
she
don't
said
know.
trays. It was a grant too that she was looking
Yeah.
at.
Right, she
Maybe
was
you
going to
two
look at
can-
something too.
Right.
Right. And yeah, no, that was my first thought was Melissa. So I've just asked Bob to get me a quote to get the water and
So now, just quickly moving down to D, when you do the signs, you're gonna do all the signs for the MES ball field, the one-way,
What?
for the MES ball field?
I have the signs in for that, so
Already?
it's just installing. Yeah, they did come in this week.
Oh, good. Well, the other thing I wanted to tell everybody, that scoreboard is in.
Correct.
So we gotta find some way to raise the money to, I don't know what that's gonna cost. Go ahead, Bob.
And on the sign, it might be an ELO extended learning opportunity. Maybe a student could pick that up. We had talked about that a little bit as one opportunity.
And that sign was donated by an individual in town that worked in the school system.
which sign was this?
It's a new
Scoreboard?
scoreboard that's going up at the ball field, softball field.
Oh, okay.
It's in. Okay.
Good. Thanks a lot for all your work, Bob.
Yes, thank you,
It's been a
Bob.
busy year for you.
Yeah.
Geez, between your Damon houses and big fields and God. No more oil leaks nowhere. Let's see, we're making progress.
So, yeah.
I guess we're moving on to C, and I think that would, I'd asked Nate to make a presentation. We gotta start working on our budgets. and
No!
working with the budget.
Didn't do that yet.
Not again.
Just did it.
So Nate,
Well done, Earl.
you got the floor.
I spoke briefly with the other staff, principals and everything, and we think that come early October we can start really scheduling with you guys to go over. It'll be a little bit easier this year because we won't be tied down with Wakefield taking up half the time, so we can really get this done in a short amount of time. I think maybe 3-4 sessions might be able
I
to.
mean, with the
with the
board.
school board, yeah.
Yeah. I think we had 4 last year, didn't we?
I think we had 3 and we scheduled the 4th one.
Right.
if I remember
With the budget
correctly.
committee?
Yeah.
Is that what
What's
you
that?
mean? With the budget committee?
No,
you mean?
Separate.
No, for the
just us.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
The
Yep,
one we send to them.
yep, okay.
Then we'll have to make the schedule with the budget committee.
Yeah.
So we are thinking of it.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. I love it.
We're already working on it.
Okay, moving on, E. I think we're gonna have a vacancy. Giving a person a cake and send them away. So, I don't know what the board wants to do about that
It was
vacancy.
all just for the cake. It's not
Yeah,
going
that's
anywhere.
it.
I didn't
Just after the
mind
cake, she's not
Yeah,
going
she's
anywhere.
coming back.
taking down the sign.
So, I don't know if the board wants to put it out and get letters in again and do an annual process, or,
Yeah,
know what you wanna do? Okay. Anybody else? I mean, it's just up to you. Sure. Okay.
What's your time frame gonna be, so I can post it on Facebook for you again?
Well, how quick do we want to do this?
We need to give people time.
For the last meeting of
Do
the
it.
month?
Do it the 23rd of,
Whatever that date is,
27th,
yeah.
isn't it?
27th.
get the letters in, okay, whatever you want to do.
We'll
Yeah,
get
by
the
the
letters in
27th.
by the end of the month, by the end of September.
Okay.
Yeah.
27th?
Yeah.
Start writing budget sheet and stuff.
Yeah, well,
So we'll run it into it.
Might scare them away.
okay. Now, I've added I took care of that one. I took care of, okay. I do have another request to the board that I be allowed to go to the selectmen and ask that the vice chair be given a key to get into this building and the code. By any chance that I may not be able to make a meeting. Right now, I may not always be the chair, but I think we ought to have 2 people on the board that's got a key in the code to get into this building.
Okay.
So I'd like the board's permission to go to the select.
Makes sense. Sure.
Okay, thank you. So I will get put on the agenda and I'll take care of that. Okay. Do we have any other old business?
Nope.
Moving on. Committee and board member reports? None?
We'll give you one next time.
Am I on a committee?
Yeah, you're on the budget.
So, going back to what we talked about policy committee, do we have, that's going to be sent up to get that change, correct? The 20 credit versus
Yes.
24,
Yeah.
that will be, we don't have
Yeah.
to, we talked about it before and it fell away. Now we're just guaranteeing it's going to be
Well-
done now, right?
We're gonna have to put another member on that committee once somebody vacates.
Do we have to put, I understand that part, but can't we just make a change to that policy and just put it through? Do we have to have like another member and everything else as long as we approve it as a board?
Well, we can do, as long as we do the 2 hearings, I don't see a problem.
So why don't we just put it on for, why don't we schedule hearings? Get that part
But we gotta-
rolling, so we're not
We've got to write up the policy itself.
just change from 24 to 20,
Well,
right?
I think it'll be more involved.
No, add both. Just
But just, yeah, we can just, yeah, but I mean, is that
24
something,
and then
who else is on policy?
Melissa
and
is
Stephanie,
and
but-
Stephanie.
So you're gonna stay on it?
And I'm not on the policy committee at this point.
Well, that you haven't officially done it. If Stephanie's leaving though, are you gonna stay
Bye,
filled in?
Jan.
Well, I can fill in, and
Thank you
I
so
don't know
much.
who the new member's going to be. I can take the position if that's what the board wants me to do.
Well, I mean,
It's a month.
just as a matter of being just a quick interim policy committee, just to get this going.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, we're gonna wait for another member, now we're gonna do this, and then we get into budget season, then it's like way back here again.
Yeah, no, I think it needs
So
to
if we
be just
can-
done.
Just get that, you know, Stephanie's last thing as on the school board. Rewrite
Get it
that.
done tomorrow.
Do we have that, electronically?
I'm sorry.
Do we have it on, do we have that electronically? Something we can just go in and change the wording, a couple of sentences?
Yeah,
And
how
then
do you do
present it?
that? I mean, I was on
Kathy
the
does it.
policy.
Kathy.
Kathy does it?
Kathy has
This is
on
what
the-
I've been telling you, like whoever there has not been much direction given. I mean, Lou had handled a lot, and then it was, Earl provided the paper copy, and then I asked if we were meeting today, but obviously we couldn't meet anyways because there was a family emergency. But whoever's taking it, I guess, needs to go through, because I've asked several times
Hi, Bob.
where these policies are, where to find them, are they on electronically? I don't
Well, if
know.
they're state, they should be electronic.
Well, you got them in
right?
your book, and then you can call the New Hampshire School Board Association, and
Yeah,
you have access to them because we're a member of that,
yeah.
and they'll help you anytime
Well,
you want.
but you say you have them in your book. What? But they wouldn't be in there if that hasn't, that's not updated as you're going on. 'cause that-
Can we- Can we just have,
It should be on an electronic.
can we just have Jan meet with Kathy and say, this is how we want this to say, this is the, because she knows, she implemented this, she wanted the waiver, she knows exactly what it is she wants. Have her go to Kathy, you said Kathy has it electronically, set up a draft it out, and say, okay, this is what we want, and then start our
Did she
public
leave?
hearings.
Yes.
Yes.
Uh-oh.
So we can just,
Correct.
can you contact her and just say, look, can we get with Kathy and just get this done?
How she wants it written.
How she wants it written, so we can add the 20 credit part in there, so we don't have to do a waiver every year.
Do public hearings.
And then we'll do public hearings and get it
And all
done.
she needs to add, as far as I'm concerned, is that second paragraph. A student can earn a Milton School District diploma by earning 20 credits for blah, blah, blah. Option used in collaboration between administration, the student, and parent guardian. I mean, that's all that really needs to
It
even
may
go
already
added.
it may already be written at the New Hampshire School Board Association, the draft.
Not for Milton, though.
Well, that's saying, I'm sure we're not the only ones that deal with
Right,
that.
because
issue.
it's ED 306.27,
Okay.
so it's obviously up there
So just
somewhere.
let Jan run with it.
Yep,
Yeah,
All right. Well, no,
so the
Done
second
well so far.
paragraph, Earl.
I see it right here.
Okay.
Yep, we're all set.
All right.
Any,
Perfect, thank you.
any public comments? Yes, Larry?
Three things. One, you might be able to get the trustees of the Newton Library to pay for the sign that says, public library parking, use School Street, so that they understand that they are part of the enter. The second one would be, you should have a rolling review of your policy. And it's the same AAA that I keep talking about. Assessment, what do you have? Analyze what it means, take any action, go back for the assessment. And if you have 12 policies, and 6 of them present problems, those are the 6 you do for the year.
Should we get a list every spring and every fall from the New Hampshire School Board Associations, the ones that we need to change?
And we just did a policy review.
A whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, not,
So
we are doing that.
Good.
So it is being done.
Ready?
yeah.
Good. And the other one is, I'm sorry, I don't know the quote, and not meant to be morbid, but the phrase goes that people who are very old do not really die. What happens is they get so tired of saying goodbye to people who leave before them. Miss you.
Thanks, Larry. I'm old.
Okay.
You just told me I was
You can
old.
have
Okay.
Hi.
I was talking about you.
Oh,
I know. That's why you hit me. Thanks.
I was pointing.
So Doug,
Yeah, I know.
cake and then non-public, or non-public and cake?
how you want to do it?
It's not my decision, it's hers.
I'd prefer you sign these before you get into the cake.
I think of the DOE and
The
25.
DOE and-
Oh, that's right, you did have something else. You should have reminded me.
I was going to.
Okay, well, okay.
Oh, that's right, to you, like,
Go ahead.
Please sign these.
Yep, pass them around.
great presentation, thank you. Great presentation.
We're signing the MS
MS-25.
and the
And
DOE.
unfortunately, there's
Okay.
5 copies each.
25?
And the DOE.
Oh, with a blue pen.
25.
Oh, I have a black.
Here,
Rubber?
sign
Here,
them all.
Stephanie,
It's a nice pen.
every color.
Isn't
You
that,
should take
that's
that with
just a great pen. Here,
No,
Doug,
this
that's your
is
pen.
pretty fancy. That's cost a lot.
See that pen?
I always wonder who are the
Always cry.
people that buy the
Where my
expensive pens when you can get
feelings
the
on my
pack of
sleeve.
12 for
Oh, you
99
gotta
You
say-
don't on your
I
face.
have one that's got my name on it.
Did you buy it?
She's going to.
Right.
President.
And then gave it to you.
You should get her, you know. Sometimes it's even though,
It won't be as easy.
I
It will
know.
be.
So,
you
Bob,
stop?
the agenda, we have committee, the next meeting will be
She
committee,
just
right?
doesn't
I mean,
put effort into
facilities.
our relationship.
wanna
Is
just,
that what it
we'll just,
is?
our primary concern will be
My
parking, and we can look at the trees while we're over there. If you wanna meet there, we can take a walk and look. We'll meet at the community room,
Yeah, we just would need the new community.
because there's nothing really else on the agenda, is there? You've absolutely killed everything else. You've done a good job.
Keep in
Yeah, I
mind.
think we might
Bob,
just
you
want to
deserve a
crack the code on
vacation.
the facility reports
I
that we
did?
had-
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
that we had.
You have right
a couple
here and
years
then
ago.
right
Oh,
there.
And
okay.
just look
They-
at, there might be some nuggets
I
in
like
there
being
that we
special.
might want to start playing
It's
on.
special.
It
Okay.
is special.
Okay.
It's so
Yeah, so we'll get the parking squared away. Pat
Yeah.
can come over with us, maybe?
Just stop.
Yeah, because that's at
Don't be
5,
jealous.
right? Yeah.
I don't
It's
know.
at 5.
Fancy
You're waiting for
schmancy.
the pen?
Okay.
Because we have to sign
So we'll
a
meet, Doug, we're gonna meet
Well,
at the
exactly.
community
First
one
one in black.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
at 5 o'clock.
Okay.
And we'll walk through and get the parking done, check out the trees that have to be taken down, and start, like he said, start looking at the facilities reports and what could be done.
Okay, yeah.
Okay? Thanks, Bob.
I just have one question here.
Yeah, go ahead.
Is that D,
Yeah.
25?
DOE 25.
Is that the final number,
Yep.
the final
Yes.
close of the budget?
Yep.
Yes.
Will we be getting an update on that, or is it numbers change, or do they stay the same?
No, they've
They'll
changed.
stay the same for the year.
Well, they won't change from this, but they've changed from what our last one
These are
was
the
for
final
budget.
numbers. Yes.
Will we get those final numbers, or is it just, that's it?
Thank
Yeah, you want me
Thank
to
you.
send it to the budget committee?
If a lake house
Change.
comes
It's
for
just one
sale, it might be
sheet.
back, but other than that.
Well, this is very detailed. It's 25 pages
I think
long.
it's separated
We're gonna choose
somehow.
Okay, so
You
that's
get too many here.
Okay. You can have her.
1 out of 2.
I got to home there.
There's something missing here. Like
Yeah,
there's
it's
nothing.
because that was the cover page I was looking for.
Oh,
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh, so it was okay for me to sign it then?
No.
No?
No, I'm talking to her. She's not
Oh,
going
this one needs,
Oh, because I got the blank
I
one.
dated my resignation.
I remember to sign at the top.
Still gonna get paid.
Minus 6 days.
I'll make sure we keep that.
Oh, prorate it. Sorry, I
We'll need your, either come get it or we need your address changed
Okay.
so we can mail it to you.
Good call.
Sure, sure.
Oh, you
Depends on how good the case is.
That one? Okay.
Right.
You have a blue pen?
I do not. I need a blue pen. Okay.
I know, I've got 45 of these to sign too.
Is there another blue pen down there?
No.
Yep.
Oh, there is?
Which one would you?
That write's in blue.
Yeah, I know.
No,
Earl gave it to me. Neat.
That one's blue.
That one looks blue. That's not blue.
barely blue.
Oh, God.
That's
Nightmare.
not.
That's blue.
Oh boy.
This is-
Thank you.
Okay.
I really need a signature like Stephanie's.
I need is a stamp.
A blue stamp, okay?
Oh,
You
it
can
is
get 'em
blue.
at- oh, you
I thought I
need-
had it wrong.
you get them at Staples.
You know, I need to know who I really have.
So would the budget committee like a copy of this document also?
The budget committee had any idea what they thought that piece of paper was?
Well, that was the potential savings by all the cuts and hiring of the staff.
Should we wait until we're
I
done?
think you should wait until you're
Yeah,
done.
because we got a meeting, what, on the
Yeah, we're not
19th, 18th?
meeting until
19th,
on the
18th,
no, whatever that-
17th,
whatever that is.
25th,
Yeah.
Stuff, including a
And that
pen.
way,
19th.
The lackadaisical chair will not.
Your turn, Douglas.
Here, can you give that back to them on the other one?
Peg,
Yes,
if you are coming to that meeting, bring it.
yep,
Will be on tape, and you can hit them again for what the district has accomplished for savings.
yeah, and I will have the MS, whatever these things are, with the final
LSMFT.
figures, yep,
Yep.
update.
The LSMFT.
No, it's the XPQR. Get your initials right, Larry.
I know what he meant.
Anyway, and the final figures for the year.
Final-
Both.
Final.
Both, well, unaudited, but what's,
For the fiscal year, yeah, for last fiscal
yeah,
year.
what's in here. And what we will be returning to the town, do not break it right
That doesn't include what will.
So you need what, 4 copies of these signed, Nate?
from the
Sorry?
SAU
4 copies signed?
Should be 5 total of each.
No, I only got 4 there.
Right, Nate?
Oh, there's one here I forgot to give you.
Oh.
Hi, Doug.
okay.
What's that?
I was telling Larry that this does not include whatever comes back from the SAU.
Correct.
now. Right,
And that will not be until October when the audit, is that right? Nate?
Well, the auditors come in October, so I mean, it'll be after that.
Yeah, but
It
we'll
won't
know
be-
what it is.
It won't be right after they're done. They take a little while to get all the paperwork done.
What?
Doug, I'm glad you signed your name.
Why?
You're not supposed to read it. You're not supposed
But
to.
I mean,
You're not supposed
I could give that to my dog,
What's
and
your
they'd
dog?
never
Paw
know.
print?
Hey, Earl. I need you to sign this
You
too.
talking about my signature, Peg?
Okay.
Yeah, I
Well,
think
yours
she
and
is.
Stephanie's.
That's my legal signature. Sorry. Can't change it. So my driver's license.
That can get him $10,000.
You have your own special.
Well, I have to say, it's
Spot.
probably not easy
I
to.
like that. You
forge.
get special spots.
You gotta point it because I'll just write it anywhere.
John.
Under 823.
I can't read that one.
Which one is that one?
That one I can read.
Does that say Margaret?
Margaret.
Looks like Mangent.
I think we
Is
should
that
redo
your
it.
real name?
Mangent.
Margaret? Yeah, man.
Yes, it is her real name.
How is Peg the
I have
nickname
no
for
clue.
Margaret?
I have no
So
clue at
that's
all.
basically a forgery. What that is a
Let's do
forgery.
Margot.
Maggie. My sister calls me Miss
Maggie.
Maggie.
Okay, next.
Well, Stephanie, I'm gonna need a resignation from you.
I know,
on
printer
10A.
wasn't working. Look, packing and moving is H-E-L-L. So.
What is it? 7734?
What?
734.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Calculator.
That is something from the old
oh.
days.
Jeez.
Oh God.
Then
Upside down calculator? Is that what that
What's the one that spells?
773.
Stop.
We are.
82085.
We're still on
Yeah, I don't
tape.
think
Okay, moving on.
Five zero.
I need a motion to go into non-public.
Make a
I
motion to go
will
to my
provide
public.
an email copy of my letter.
Okay, I have a second.
Second.
Okay, that'll be under RSA 91.32 A, B, and C. Paul,
You all right?
Doug, aye.
Hey guys.
Stephanie,
Stephanie, I.
we are in non-public.